Hey friends, Nika here. So today we are going to go through the July 2019 Business Success Kit for our Mastermind class. I'm recording these videos and I will post them in the Influencer Social Club and also on the Facebook or inside the Facebook group. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the business kit. As always, if you have questions after we do the Mastermind, feel free to DM me, instant message me, email me, comment below, whatever you need to do, just get those questions to me and I will do everything I can to get your answers or get you guys answers. Anyways, let's get into the business kit for this month. So I'm really excited about this one because I think it'll help a lot of you who are launching businesses and growing businesses when it comes to social media. So we're going to talk about social media basics. So how to grow a following on social media. I feel like I've said social media like 10 times already. You're going to hear it a whole bunch more times through here too. So anyways, this is just the front page. We've got the business kit, so the business kit number 2. Second page here, you'll always have a letter from me, just kind of telling you about, what I've been through or how we can relate or just giving you some kind of thought I had. So that'll be in every kit. Okay, so the next thing, let me see if I can get this to fit a little better so you guys can see my full screen. So we're going to talk about the demographics of the different social media platforms. And so I did the big 5 here. Now keep in mind there are several other platforms and I always recommend checking out new platforms as they come up or are created because you never know what's going to be your specific platform and you never know where your target market might be headed. And so it's really important to just kind of check them out and see how they work. And maybe you can be one of those really early people who commit and really be able to grow your following before anyone else moves over there. But anyways, let's just talk about the big 5 today. So of course you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. And each one has a pretty big following or user base, but each one's a little bit different. So Instagram has about 1 billion users. There's about 500 million that are active daily. And then there's about 300 million that use stories. And so what I hear when I hear that is that stories is a really good way to market directly to your target market. So in a couple of weeks, I'll go through some tutorials on how to use stories to actually do marketing and pitches. But for now, we're just going to go through the demographics of today. So the next one is Facebook, and Facebook is like the behemoth. It is the big, all-encompassing social media network. And I feel you when you're like, oh, Facebook has been, they've come and gone, all the stuff that happened with the political stuff, people aren't on there anymore. And the reality is people really are still on there and people internationally are just getting on there. I mean, obviously some major countries have been on there for a long time, but there's a lot of other smaller countries that are just coming onto it as well. So Facebook is not going anywhere anytime soon. Plus they own Instagram and Instagram is growing drastically. And so neither company or neither sister company is going to go anywhere anytime soon. So Facebook has about 2.38 billion with a B users and about 1.4 billion users a day. So think about that. That's almost 3 times the amount of Instagram. So if you do not have a business Facebook page, if there's one thing you take away from today, please go set up your business Facebook page and start growing your following there. There's so much stuff you can do with it and it's really, really important that you're active on it. So, sorry guys. So the next platform is going to be Twitter. So Twitter is really unique in its own way because Twitter is more of a conversational tool than just a social media platform. There's no other social media account or platform that's really like Twitter. And so if you're a politician, if you're really into sports, maybe you want to be a broadcaster, if you're trying to connect with people directly, I really suggest getting to know how to use Twitter because you can interact with people and have direct conversations. It's less about, the shiny photos and the cool videos and all that entertainment stuff. What it's really about is having a conversation. So Twitter is really, really important in that sense. So the active monthly users for Twitter is about 330 million. There's about 68 million that use it here locally, but the majority of Twitter users are actually outside of the US. There's about 262 million users. So it's a really powerful platform if you're trying to reach people outside of the United States. Next platform is YouTube. YouTube has 1.5 billion viewers. And about 180 million viewers live in the United States, and actually, surprisingly, about 400 million viewers live in India. So, a substantial amount of their overall viewers live outside of the United States. Important to know. But YouTube, you guys know YouTube. I mean, it is just a powerhouse in its own right. It's a really great tool to get your information out there, to be able to tell your brand story, to engage with your followers, and to just provide resources, tutorials, educational tools. I love YouTube. It's really phenomenal, and it's hours of entertainment. Okay, and then the last one of the big 5 is Pinterest. And Pinterest is really cool. It's kind of also like Twitter. It's a really unique platform. There's about 200 million monthly users. 83% of all of those users are US women between the ages of 25 and 45. And so that's really huge to know, especially if you're marketing a product or service directly towards that target market. If your target market are especially Caucasian women, Hispanic, or African American, they tend to use that platform more than any other group. So it's really important to know. Again, I always talk about this, but understanding who your target market is. So use this platform if your target market falls into that demographic. So that's a real quick overview. I mean, we could spend an entire hour talking about just this specific topic because the demographics and the information that you can get out of understanding who is using these platforms is really pretty incredible. So anyways, we're just going to keep going though because we'll go down a rabbit hole if we keep talking about it. Okay, so I do have the second page for you that I thought was really, really helpful. So I can't take credit for this. I pulled it from the Pew Research Center. So they do a lot of research throughout the United States and some internationally as well. But this really breaks down all of those platforms. So it also includes Snapchat, LinkedIn, the WhatsApp as well. And so it really breaks down, you know, age, men versus women, race, income, all those different kind of things. Sorry, I don't know why I'm struggling getting that out. But anyways, it breaks down everything for you so you guys can really start to look at, oh, this is the platform I should use more than anything else, or this is a platform I really need to invest some time in, or oh man, I was really investing a lot of time in Instagram and maybe that's not the right platform. Maybe I need to focus on Facebook. So the key here, like I always say, is understand exactly who your target market is and what the habits and behaviors of your target market are. And then you can use this information to then develop your platforms appropriately. Okay, so it's really important to have a social media posting schedule. This is going to make your life a whole lot easier. So this is just a sample schedule that I've created so you can kind of keep yourself active on the big 4. So here I've included Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and then a blog post. And let me see if there's no e-blasts on here, but e-blasts are really important too. But it includes Instagram Live, Instagram Stories, Facebook Live, regular posts as well. So you can kind of use this as a template. You don't have to use this specifically. There's nothing really specific to why these different platforms are on different days, but it just gives you an idea of how often you should kind of be engaging those platforms. I do have a free social media posting and engagement actual schedule that you guys can download. You can either get it as a PDF, an Excel file, or a Google document file. It's free if you go into the free resources on Instagram, or I'm sorry, Influencer Social Club. So you can download that anytime you guys want if you want to have a very specific posting platform. And it's really cool because you can put copy in there and save it for whenever you're ready, so you can plan out several months in advance. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things. We're going to talk about social media posting categories. This is how I never run out of ideas for content. So a lot of times people reach out to me, how are you always coming up with content? How do you keep it organized? You know, how come you're never running out of ideas? So this is what I do. So I have, I think I have 14 categories that I use. Actually, it might be 13 because I repeat one twice a week. But anyways, the idea is to come up with 12 to 14 categories that you use. And these categories range from things like behind the scenes, tutorials, telling my why, like why I am doing what I'm doing, why I started my business, entertainment and funny things, inspiration and motivation, benefits of the product and service you offer, or showcasing the product and service. Like, can you show how it actually works? That's a really great thing to post about. Testimonials from clients or customers you have. Customer appreciation is a really big one. Thanking people who support you and support your brand. And in the last few, so food, outdoor activities, destinations, experiences, those are really important because those help kind of tell who you are as an individual, and so people are able to connect and relate to you. But it's really important when you're using those types of categories to relate those back to what your overall brand is. So I'll give you an example in a second. So the way I use categories is I pick 12 to 14, and then I schedule a different category for every day of the week. So maybe Monday is behind the scenes, Tuesdays tutorials, Wednesdays entertainment and funny, Thursdays are benefits of the product and service, and Friday is food, and then pick whatever for Saturday and Sunday. You could add in music, whatever you guys want, as long as it can feed back into your overall brand. But I use those, and so I come up with 12 to 14, and then I repeat them every 2 weeks. And I create content or copy that matches that specific category. So on Monday, I know I need to come up with something that's behind the scenes. You know, it's easy once you know what you're actually going to talk about to think of something like, oh, hey, you know, I really struggled with that issue the other day. That would be a great behind the scenes story of how I struggled with it, what the issue was, and how I learned and overcame it, and share that kind of idea. Or, hey, here's how we make this specific flavor of beer that we brew, and so tell a behind the scenes story. So every single day you have a different category that you talk about, and then you create content that matches that category. So it's a really, really useful tool. I use this like religiously, and I really think it's valuable. So make them your own. Feel free to choose from some of these categories or create your own. Just again, make sure that they feed back into your brand. And that example I talked about a minute ago. So I've told this story a couple times, but it's really good to help share how this works. So say I'm talking about food for Friday. And again, you can put food on any day of the week. It doesn't have to be Friday. But say you're talking about food on Friday. So I could take a picture of my food that I took or that I got at Panera Bread last night. And I can show a little picture of the salad and the mac and cheese that I want. So the picture is fine, that doesn't really matter, but what you need to do in the copy or the actual caption that you write is relate that back to your business or your brand. So I would say, hey guys, look at my delicious meal at Panera Bread. I loved it so much because I was really busy on the go. I had my daughter with me, and you know, between taking care of my daughter, running my business, and doing all the other things I need to do on the side, my time's really minimal, but I really still want to eat healthy, yummy food. So Panera Bread was fantastic because it got everything I needed really, really quick. And so you can see that it feeds back in to my overall business theme. And then at the bottom of that, what I would also add is like a call to action, like, hey guys, comment below on your favorite Panera Bread meal, or what did you guys eat for dinner last night? Something like that. Use the call to action at the bottom. But you can use personal photographs and personal things as long as the copy or the caption feeds back into what your business theme or brand is overall. So again, I use 12 categories. I mix it up, you know, and it's not necessarily perfect every week, but it helps you really create or always stay fresh and always come up with new content ideas. You're never struggling to come up with something. So anyways, let's move on to social media challenges. So I like doing challenges. Some people love them, some people hate them. This really just kind of runs you through a couple things to consider when you're doing them. So challenges are really great because they help you connect with new potential followers who may not have heard about you before. And it's a really great way to grow your engagement on your different platforms. So the followers you already have, you can challenge them to like 10 pictures and comment on this post. And if you do all of that, then you get, you know, you get put into a drawing to win a $10 gift card to Amazon or whatever. So keep it fun, keep it active. You can use hashtags to make it really unique and hopefully kind of go viral. So, you know, maybe you ask your followers all to post something inspirational that includes the color yellow, and then you do inspiration yellow as your hashtag, and you get everyone to post that, and you say, hey, anyone that's posted a you know, a hashtag inspiration yellow thing gets put into a drawing to win a gift card or whatever. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. This kind of gives you. Okay, so we're going to go and look at each of the different major platforms and kind of run through some quick tips for you. So the biggest thing to know with Instagram is to make sure that your profile is public and easy to identify. So I gave you two different ideas of a good, what are those called? Tags? I don't know what they're called. Anything's a good name to use and then a bad one. So you want to make yourself really easily identifiable. So I would be the Influencer Social Club or at Nika Lori, opposed to ISC 3 or 236, yay. You want to make it really easy and identifiable. And if you are a business account, you need to make sure that your profile is public and that it is actually a business account, because then you can advertise and do other things with it, and it gives you your analytics for all of your posts, which is really, really important as well. So the thing to always remember is to post consistently. Sorry, I'm gonna grab some water. So I drive this home all the time, but consistency, consistency, consistency. It really is the key to growing your social media platform. So I try to post daily. Sometimes I post 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes I post, you know, maybe I don't post on Sunday, but I post Saturday and on Monday. So I really try to be very consistent with how often I'm posting and what kind of content I am posting, because the more often you do that, your followers will start to know, hey, I need to pay attention to these kind of things, or they know when to look for new content, or they know what to expect from you. And so they start to engage with you a little bit more. Posts should either be beautiful, interesting, or educational. People don't really care about what your dog does. They don't really care about the cool new shirt you bought unless you're a style influencer. What they care about is being entertained or inspired. And the way you really do that is by it being beautiful, that's entertaining, being interesting, so that's entertaining. Educational is either entertaining or inspirational. And so you really want to make sure that it fits into one of those kind of things. So entertaining or inspirational or educational, those are kind of the big things that you want to think about when you're posting content. If you want to actually grow your Instagram following, you need to engage. And so that includes commenting on other photos. It means using the like button, and it means using the direct message option in there and just connecting with people. Social media, growing your following there is the same thing as networking in the public. It's all about relationships. It's all about talking to people. And I promise you, you will get what you give. So if you're not given anything in the sense of engagement, you're not going to get anything back either. So make sure that you're out there engaging. I try to do at least 30 minutes a day, if not an hour, broken up a couple times, like 15 minutes here, there, and there. Let's see. So one thing to keep in mind when you're doing social media posting is to always make sure that you do 4 words or more, because the algorithm will pick that up as an actual comment, opposed to just like the bots who leave smiley faces and the praying hands and all those kind of things. So using 4 words or more is really important. And a good thing to keep in mind when you are posting comments is ask an open-ended question so that you can get people to respond and you start building a conversation. Couple other things to keep in mind with your Instagram page. You can always do geo tagging, which is tagging the location at which you took the picture or which you are at. And so it's one more way that people can search for you. I always recommend using hashtags, though what I personally do is I take my hashtags and I post them down in the comments. I don't post them up in the actual description or caption area, because I really want it to look nice. And so one way that you can post it down in the comments is you do 5 periods in a row. So I have an example there, but you do the 5 periods and then you can do up to 30 hashtags below that as well. So you can just post that down into the comments, and it's the same searchable thing as if it was up in the caption as well. So let's move on to Instagram themes. That's really important because I get asked about this a lot. So Instagram themes, it's really kind of up to you. So I personally, I kind of have a theme, but not really. I tried to do the whole theme thing in the beginning, and frankly, it was really stressful and overwhelming, and it was way more work than it was worth. And what I realized was people just want really good content from me. They hardly ever go look at my actual Instagram page. They just see the posts that run through their feed, and so they don't really care about the theme. And so if you like a theme, and go for it. That's awesome. If you don't stress about it, because it's not the end all be all. Just make sure that your page does look nice or consistent with the type of content, I should say. It looking perfect and beautiful, that really doesn't matter, because you'll find people that have millions of followers and then you actually go to their page and it looks chaotic and crazy. So it really doesn't matter. What it really is about the type of content that you're putting out there. But back to the theme, if you really want to have an Instagram theme, there's a couple things to keep in mind. The first is to pick 3 or 4 colors max and then be consistent in the use of those colors. Try to have those colors match whatever your brand's colors are, and then keep the backgrounds similar. So whether that's an all-white background or outdoors or indoors or whatever it is, try to keep that similar, because it'll help all of that kind of be consistent and meld together. Let's see. Oh, if you want to edit, I'm going to have you guys kind of read through all of this for the sake of time, but I'm going to pick out a couple of these things. So if you want to edit your photos, this is a really awesome one. So the 2 that I love is either Facetune or VSCO app. And so you can edit the exposure, the saturation, you can put filters on it, all kinds of cool things with VSCO. Facetune helps you if you want to whiten your teeth, or if you want to get rid of wrinkle lines, or make things a little bit more shiny or whatever. You can use Facetune as well. I didn't put that in the thing, but it's one of my favorite apps. But again, be yourself, be real, just post what's important. Make sure that the content is valuable to your follower. It's really less about you and it's more about them. So just keep that in mind and don't ever overthink things. And then you can also, if you do want to do a theme and you really want it to look consistent and you want to plan ahead, you can use a website called later.com, or it's also an app. And there's actually a layout configuration in there, so you can schedule a bunch of posts and then you can see what it's going to look like on a smartphone, and then you can move those pictures around to get your theme to look exactly the way you want to, and then schedule them out like that, so you don't even have to think about it. So it's a pretty cool option in Later. Okay, so moving on, so we're going to talk about Facebook. So there are so many things to learn about Facebook. This is really kind of just the basic things to really understand and know. Facebook, I really try to go live at least once a week, and I try to be as active as I can, commenting and engaging with people. And I usually post 2 to 3 times a week minimum. Most of the time I'm daily with some kind of content, but it's really kind of up to you. The thing I will say here is test out what works on Instagram versus what works on Facebook, because the content's not necessarily the exact same thing, and so really kind of figure out what works best for you. So I'm going to let you guys kind of read through this. I do want to talk about 2 other things though. So buzzsumo.com is a really cool website which you can go and search for trending topics. And so you can look up, say you're a wedding photographer, you can go and search wedding photographer in BuzzSumo, and it'll give you the trending topics on Facebook. And so you can do a post around that trending topic, and that should help your engagement grow. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you do a Facebook ad, you need to give it 72 hours to get through the algorithm and really get active before you start looking at your analytics for that. A lot of people post it in 24 hours. There's like no engagement, nobody's liked or anything, and they get frustrated and they don't want to waste money and they pause it or cancel the ad altogether. And what really happens is it takes about 72 hours for the algorithm to really pick up that ad and really get it into where it needs to be in front of the target market. So give it some time before you cancel it, and try to post those things really early. So something like 2 or 3 in the morning, because that way it gives you a full day of engagement the first day that you post it. So you can schedule for when they go active. You don't have to get up at 2 and 3 in the morning and post it. So anyways, kind of read through these. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always let me know. So Twitter, we've talked about Twitter a little bit already. It's really a communication platform opposed to a image or video platform. I mean, obviously you can post both, but it's really about connecting with people directly and having conversations. So one thing to keep in mind though is that if you do want to post multimedia on the platform, try to be kind of consistent in what you do. So things that you can include are images, text, video, and GIFs. So GIFs are those little kind of moving picture things. You can post those as well. And keep in mind, you really have to be concise and straightforward on what you're trying to say and get out there, because you only have 280 characters to share, and that actually goes a lot faster than you think. And characters are words and periods and exclamation marks. They are not, I'm sorry, they are letters and punctuation. They are not words. So it's really a pretty short little thing. There are really good times on Twitter to post. So consider your tweet only having a half-life of about 24 minutes because it runs through the feed so quickly. So you do want to use hashtags because people can search those hashtags, but really it runs through the feed pretty quick. So if Twitter is a platform you really want to grow, you really need to engage on it as much as possible and post as often as you can. Post 500 times a day if you want to on Twitter. They're really, I mean, engage, post. It's really all about using the platform as much as possible. Good times to post are 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. Those are when people are most active. And then again, use or engage. So use retweets, likes, follows, @mentions. So like @Nika Lorre, you tag me on it if you want me to talk to you back. If you get tagged on something, make sure you reply within 60 minutes because people tend to lose interest after that. So yeah. Okay guys, so we're going to move to YouTube, and again, I'm running through this pretty quickly because it's a lot of information and I just want you guys to kind of be able to read through it. But again, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions at all. So YouTube, there's a really, it's really straightforward. You put a video up, you make sure that video has a really good title, an engaging title. So how to do X, 5 things that you need to know for X. Make sure it's something that's very engaging and gets people's attention. The other thing is you can use the editing software inside of YouTube Studio, so you do not have to have any video software on your computer because YouTube provides you pretty much everything, and it really is pretty good. It's pretty substantial, and so there's a lot of editing you can do inside of that. Couple things to keep in mind is that you want to have an eye-catching thumbnail, so that's the front cover, because otherwise you're going to look like this in your video and you look awful and nobody wants to click on it. So if you do a cover for it, a thumbnail, you will look a lot better and people will be more likely to click on your video. You want to use tag words in all of your videos. So tag words are similar to hashtags, so basically the same kind of thing. And I use a really cool tool or website that I freaking love, and it helps me come up with tag words for my YouTube page or even Instagram and other things. It's called keywordtools.io, and so you can find that, and it's really helpful. Again, there's no specific time to post on YouTube. A lot of people tend to say 2 p.m. is really good because it kind of gives you the evening when engagement is higher, but I've heard other things too, so I'd say test it out. Post one at 9 in the morning, post one at noon, post one at 2, and post one at 6. Figure out where you get the most engagement and then continue with that timeline. Okay, so the last one is Pinterest, and Pinterest again really is an amazing tool for if you're trying to connect with women in the United States, because man, do they love to pin. There isn't a whole lot about Pinterest that has really specific requirements. The biggest thing with Pinterest is testing out what works. So some people like doing images, some people like doing infographics, some people like doing videos, some people like doing GIFs, like GIFs. Test things out, figure out what performs best for you, and then go from there. The big thing with Pinterest though is maintaining day-to-day consistency and really keeping engaged One way that you can actually do this to save you some time is create content and then repin old content later on, because not everybody will have seen that older content. And so you can sometimes refresh old content, and it saves you from always having to create new stuff and getting overwhelmed and stressed. So swap out your pins every now and then and just create more content there. Keep in mind, Pinterest is really visual, and so you really want to make sure that whatever you're doing is engaging visually. It's really important in that sense. Okay, so that's kind of it for the platforms. Again, I know I ran through it really fast, but there's a lot of information in there, and I want you guys to kind of read through, because each of you will probably have different questions. But again, never ever hesitate to reach out to me, because my priority is you guys. I'm here to help you be as successful as possible. So IM me, DM me, mention me, whatever it is, and I'll do my very best to answer whatever questions you have. So let's do the real quick recap. So this is kind of for all platforms, but make sure your profiles are clean, professional looking, and have contact information front and center on all of them. So you really want to be consistent on exactly who you are, what your brand is across any platform that you're on. So that's really important. The other thing to keep in mind is try to have all of your mentions or whatever the same thing. So like, I'm Nika Lori on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, like all of them, YouTube, all of them. If you type in Nika Lori, you're going to find me. So really try to keep that the same across all the platforms. Create content that is either entertaining, educational, or inspirational. Again, that's for all platforms. It's really important, because you need to keep in mind that your content is for your follower. It is not about you, it is about them. So whatever you can do, create the content that's going to support, educate, inspire, entertain your target market. Post often, but again, ensure quality content over quantity. So again, quality. Quantity is great, but if you can only manage with your time to get 2 posts out on any platform a week, that's fine. Just make sure that those are really amazing pieces of content, so people will look at them, engage with them, and hopefully share them. Again, okay, so for all platforms, if you want to grow your following, engage. So post on people's, or comment on people's photos or posts, like them, share them, start conversations with them, DM or instant message people, engage. So anything you do on social media needs to be telling your brand's story. So whether that's your business or your personal brand, tell the story over and over again. I am so-and-so, I do this service or product for XYZ target market. Over and over again, this is what I do. So be creative, have fun, create content that's interesting and fun, but be consistent with the type of content that you're providing. You really want people to say, hey, I'm going to go to Nika's page because I know I'm going to get some kind of business education or inspirational thing to help change my life and live my life on my own terms. Or, hey, I'm going to go to Beyonce's page because I know I'm going to hear some cool song and, see some beautiful pictures and be inspired by who she is. So be consistent on the type of content you create. It's really important. Always use tools, apps, software that help make posting easier and less time consuming. Don't kill yourself doing this. Be strategic about how you do it. Go with a plan, or go in with a plan and stick to it. So again, you can get my free social media marketing engagement schedule or calendar if you want. It's set up for the whole year, so you can start scheduling and managing all of that. It's really easy to use. It's in the free resources on the Influencer Social Club website. So review your post engagement rates and do this often, and then make adjustments as needed. So really look at your analytics and see what's working and what's not, and tweak and test things and try things out, and readjust or refine to get to the kind of content and posts that have the most type of engagement. And the last thing that is the most important thing to know about social media is you must be patient. this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And, you know, the number of follows you have does not necessarily mean the type of leads and businesses you're going to get, or business you're going to get. So you may have the most successful business and only have 500 followers, or you may have a business that's going bankrupt and have 50,000 followers. So followers and engagement isn't always necessarily the end-all be-all. What it really is the quality of the followers you have. So make sure that those followers really are your target market. So that's it. That is our business success kit for July 2019. Please let me know if you guys have questions. I am always here for you, and thank you so much for your support. And if you love this and you like what I'm doing, please invite your friends and families and colleagues to come join the Influencer Social Club, because the more we have, the more we get to engage and grow all of our platforms. So love you guys. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Mwah!